Welcome everyone to this episode of Caught in the Energy Web, already episode 6 by now. In this episode, we will first discuss what the riddle was all about again. And after we discuss the riddle, we will go into detail in our topic. So it will be a little bit of a surprise what we talk about, unless someone got the hints that we brought into this topic. Some of you, the smart ones, may also see it in the tabs here, what is being opened. But maybe Ardian, you can explain a little bit about the hints that we had in this episode, because you made a great graphic again, in my opinion. Can you explain a little bit what we see here?
Yeah. So this is the typical American computer on is a Microsoft 95 Win desktop, and
Yeah, sorry. It looks great. Well done.
we had it on a video where we deleted a community channel, but a community chat. But yeah, it had copyrighted music. So yeah, it was the CD player over there playing. It was John Denver's song "Take Me Home, Country Road," and this is all about the United States. I tried just to bring some hints. For example, that Hawkeye, it's a typical United States eagle. We had some the Energy Web logo there, a few Twitter threads, and the notepad in the center. It's a short explanation of the book from Amory Lovins, the Reinventing Fire, from I think it was 2013. It was how the US could transition to clean energy. Yeah, I think this was some hints, but yeah, a few went too far. For example, we had one, and I loved it. It was connected in Rocky Mountain. Yeah, they found the book, the Reinventing Fire from Rocky Mountain Institute, and they were trying to connect it to Denver, the city of Denver. And then they were connecting it to another city. I forgot. I loved it. It was too deep. We didn't even go that deep.
Well, there's still a lot of hints in here, so I can imagine that people dive that deep. But the National Electric Grid was also mentioned here as a tab, and the network neighborhood, HP energy trading, of course. And I really like this detail as well, 7 p.m. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but
I did it on purpose.
Yeah, on
Friday. It was 2:51 or something like that. I changed it.
Awesome. Okay, so to everyone, people who just joined and people who are already here, the topic is America and American use cases of Energy Web. So we will go into the details, what is going on in America regarding Energy Web, and we will talk about several topics. We'll go into a little bit of depth, and as always, we have some alpha news for you. We have some news that is not known to the general public yet. If you are part of the Gator Green Crypto Club, you might have seen it, but you may have missed it as well, because it was brought in by a member of our group there, Jobscop. Shout out to you. Thanks for the input, and we will definitely talk about that in this session. Before we continue, I think it would be good also to mention that this is a community initiative again, and that we talk about things here that we believe are relevant to Energy Web, and these are our own opinions. We have some American projects on the Energy Web website, as most people know. One of them is EWDOS, Sunspec Modbus extension. I brought this one up briefly in a thread of mine a few days back. That was with regards to Tesla connections, because they're a member of the Sunspec Alliance. But what I mentioned there is that the Sunspec Modbus application was to provide a plug-and-play system for interoperability solutions and standards for solar panel and energy storage technologies. You can find that information here on this webpage that I'm opening now. It was gone from the Sunspec website for a while, or at least I couldn't find it back anymore. But it seems to be there again. So this one was a strategic partnership with Energy Web. We haven't heard much or anything of it since 2020. So the question is if this was continued or not. I did do my digging on it a while back, and then I found out that part of the blockchain team that was working on this from Sunspec side is no longer working there. So the question is if this is still a project that is running or not. But anyway, it's one of the projects that is based in America, Sunspec Alliance, and what they're doing is basically they are providing digital standards, protocols, solutions, and certificates to support that plug-and-play system for solar panels and battery energy storage technologies. So before we go into the other projects in America, I think it's good to briefly mention the FERC order FERC 2222. See that it doesn't open here.
Gator,
One
can I
by-
ask you something?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, before we go one by one, I think EnergyWeb has lots of projects in United States, right? Not
Oh yes,
just
there's definitely a
Yeah.
lot. Also some
a
worldwide
lot
ones, right?
is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly on the DIDs, decentralized identifiers,
Mm-hmm.
and these projects directly utilizing the EnergyWeb chain and the blockchain. And this is cool. We will go deep dive. And
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, thanks. Indeed, I think that if you look at the use cases, like you mentioned, they're also quite often focused around digital identities, but also that is maybe overall for America one of the key points, the key turning points that we keep hearing, and that's that FERC order that I just mentioned, and that is actually meant for distributed energy resources, or in short, DERs, to have the U.S. market open up to implementing these DERs, these distributed energy resources into the electricity grid. So having solar installations by U.S. Inhabitants participate in the electricity grid, having electric vehicles and battery storage participate in the electricity grid. And that is all made possible by the FERC order. It's the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. That is what the abbreviation stands for. And what Sunspec is doing actually ties into that, I would say. And also the virtual power plant project with Rocky Mountain Institute tunes into that. And the whole Flex Alert system may even be a part of that too. Because inhabitants then can switch off electric devices or use the battery storage from their electric vehicles, maybe to participate in the grid and to support the stability. That's the spec. So
I found out Rocky Mountain Institute mentioned it on their, like, I think a week ago on a blog. They mentioned that it was harder to. So the only reason, this is my opinion, what I found, the only reason that United States is a bit further away from implementing this is only regulatory reasons. And the Rocky Mountain Institute mentioned it that, for example, the thread I did on China, they mentioned there that they are doing the same thing on United States, but it's a bit difficult because they have a few. They have many states that want different regulations. For example, in China or in Europe, they are doing one regulation on one standard, and they are going with it throughout their entire country or throughout Europe. But in the United States, I found that they needed a lot more. And they brought something that will help everyone. And they can make regulations, and they can make rules and standards for every single state.
Yeah, true. There's also a lot of difference between these states in America, as I understand. And the FERC order was approved in September 2020. I just read here, but it makes it possible for people to participate in the grid. So if you look at the timeline there, it's only been a few years, right? So the U.S. electricity grid, this regulation is opening up a lot of new possibilities, and I think we've seen that with several use cases that have started to be being developed presently. I don't know how you feel about that, but I have the impression that the US is even ahead of Europe, for example, here.
Yeah, it's going to be ahead of Europe. But right now, I think it's a bit further than Europe. It's not. Europe is first, I think, for right now. No, actually, China is in front of everyone, on what I found. But yeah, US is a bit further away from Europe for implementing this regulations.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the opening up of this market for individual participation is really big, and I'm not sure if that is the case in China. If in China people can participate on the electricity grid.
Yeah. The thread I did explains that it's creating like provinces, or how do I say it?
Provinces
that have a massive like standard, and then everyone on the state can participate. Let it be a company, let it be a third party. It was like in Europe, telecom companies, internet providers, everyone, even the manufacturers had to build according to these new rules. Everything on theirs.
Oh. And since when was that? And that you're talking about China here, right? So this has been the case for China for how long? Is that a year or 2 years?
It's from back 2015 they started implementing that. Yeah, okay. And it's I think on 2019 Rocky Mountain Institute did exactly what they are doing on United States right now. Did it on 2019. But yeah, we don't have much news from China. We have they don't share much, but yeah, they are right now they are implementing blockchain on everything.
Okay, awesome.
They are even using it. We don't know. They don't share a lot, so
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's difficult to tell if they're actually making it open to the public, to individuals to participate or not. But what we do know is that the FERC order was implemented or approved at least in 2020 in September, and that in Europe it's still difficult to do peer-to-peer energy trading. I read this message from Anna Trebovic from Grid Singularity and Energy Web. I think that was a blog post on LinkedIn a while ago, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, a bit more maybe. And she said that in Europe, the markets are supposed to open up in the next years as well. But the earliest this would be opened up to individuals was somewhere, I think, June or July 2024. So it's not even there yet. And the question is always, as with regulation, are they going to do that in time? So I'm not sure if that will happen, but.
Here we have a question. What about Australia? And he's right, full monadic. Just and yeah, on Australia market they are further away. No, they are in front of US and Europe. We have some projects like Project Symphony and Project Edge that is taking a massive update on the energy market. I think they are better than both Europe and the United States here.
Yeah, they're actually implementing things, right? And also with solar panels. I mean, there's a lot of solar energy that can be generated there. So they definitely open up the markets as well. So this is what is leading, in my opinion, at least, and that's why I took this piece of information. The FERC order is, in my opinion, leading for the US, for the market, and for the use cases that EnergyWeb is building within the US and worldwide that apply to the US as well. So Sunspec I spoke about, and FlexAlert is another one, California ISO system operator, California Independent System Operator, sorry. And these guys, they have the FlexAlert solution. I don't know if you want to tell something about this, Ardian, or you want to tell something about it, Neo, but I guess most people by now know it.
Yeah, I believe everyone should know it by now. But yeah, you can maybe just mention a few what they are doing, just so the podcast listeners in the future will know what happened
All right. Shall I do that? Do you want to do that, Neo?
You can do it. You can do it.
No,
Okay.
you can do that. I will
Okay.
go with the National Renewable Energy Lab.
I have something that will connect to California, but yeah, it's not FlexLR.
Okay. Then, okay, briefly, Rocky Mountain Institute, they work on VP3, which is for virtual power plants. And they wrote in this paper something about the flex alert by CAISO, California Independent System Operator. And they have huge partners such as Google Nest, Ford, General Motors, and more. But what stood out to me was this flex alert solution. So if you briefly look at it, they in their virtual power plant solution by Rocky Mountain Institute, it doesn't mention that it uses blockchain, by the way. So it's not sure if this is in any way connected to EnergyWeb, the VP3 program. But of course, Rocky Mountain Institute is a co-founder. But they have a paper written out, and that paper was very interesting because what it said is it mentioned the California Independent System Operator, and that they manage the virtual power plants by OhmConnect, Tesla, Sunrun, Leap, Voltus, AutoGrid, and others. And what they do with that Flex Alert, Flex Alert sends a message to people in their at home, and it or an email alert, and subscribers can then reduce their energy usage to avoid the risk of a brownout or a blackout. And to do this, each user gets a digital identity assigned, a DID, and that is anchored on the EnergyWeb chain. So it enables CAISO to communicate with them and ensure total privacy because the data is not shared. That's basically what it says here in this announcement as well. So what triggered me is that each user is assigned a DID. And that is basically on the EnergyWeb chain, and it enables them to communicate with that user. So the user is the person, the individual, who has this Flex Alert system when applied for it. But it could also be that the Tesla users and the VPP users, they have a DID on the EnergyWeb chain as well to receive these alerts. Of course, it doesn't necessarily mean anything related to Tesla. It just means that Tesla users have a DID on EnergyWeb chain in order to receive this Flex Alert if they participate in the Flex Alert system. But that is what Flex Alert does. So it balances the grid, basically. A very cool project, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have something that directly connects to Tesla too. Not through EnergyWeb, but yeah, it's something that the California. Wait, let me just find it real fast. The California Energy Commission. Yeah, they even awarded this project. They built with community electricity. I think you guys know. They have partnered with EnergyWeb, I think, back in 2020. And they are building communities that will enable this renewable energy with DARS, and they are using the entire EnergyWeb DOS, the entire toolkit of EnergyWeb. And something that stood out to me was this project that the California Energy Commission awarded.
Mm-hmm.
And they said which will distribute energy services on a blockchain backbone. They called it a blockchain backbone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awarded, I think, around $9 million for this project. Tesla and Google was part of it. And another project that was awarded, not awarded, but that was mentioned and highlighted was the EPIC program, which focuses on a new model of urban development that combines 100% electricity for houses and for micro transition hubs on the California.
Nice.
Yeah, I can share.
On California.
Huh?
Is Jesse's home city, right?
California.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I can show you some cool things too, guys.
Yeah, sure.
I just shared the
I will share my screen first. Okay, where is it? Okay. So one of the, I guess I couldn't share it. Yeah, okay, now it's ready. So one of the biggest partnerships on Energy Web and United States is the one between Exelon, National Renewable Energy Lab, and which is a government initiative, and Energy Web. So basically, Energy Web is directly working with the United States government, actually, or they are utilizing the Energy Web chain. They are working on this for several years, and in May 2022, National Renewable Energy Lab published a report and announced that their development and simulations gave successful results. So we are looking at this report right now. We have Exelon, Restock, and some other minimal projects like 4C, and let's deep dive in it. This project is aimed at creating a transactive energy market to address the challenges faced by utility providers when increasing distributed energy resource adoption in their service area. Like Exelon is servicing in Washington, I guess. I don't know. Am I right, guys? Do you know anything on that?
I forgot. I think they are just nationwide.
But yeah,
I have
but
no
they
idea.
are one of.
But I like the platform on Eagle.
They are one of the biggest utility on the United States, and they are member of the Energy Web, by the way. So the transactive energy market balances electricity supply and demand, maintaining zero energy export. Residential customers like individuals and bid and building controls optimize based on the price. So the market approves or denies bids based on price, simplifying utility management and increasing the customer control. With this way, performance was evaluated through cold simulation of a representative feeder and buildings with different scenarios. Yeah, it's a little bit detailed info. So maybe we can go with the 4C, this part, and home energy management systems. So this project actually contains some minimal projects in it, right? 4C, we have 4C for home energy management systems. So we have distribution market design, and the other part, which is Energy Web, is involved. Let's go with the 4C. Quick. Yeah, 4C. It's a user-centric home energy management system that is capable of managing the behind-the-meter distributed energy resources, including PVs, batteries, controllable loads, and provide grid services based on utility or market signals. So occupants, like individuals, may have different preferences for cost and comfort. So some may tolerate minor discomfort to reduce cost, while others may pay more for maximum comfort. So what is the Energy Web's role in this? In this project, DIDs are created on the Energy Web's testnet Volta chain for the market. Each homeowner in the United States, all distributed energy resources and home energy management systems like 4C is getting a DID on the Energy Web chain. Right now it's Volta. So DIDs are used to authenticate data that home energy management system sends the market and vice versa. So as I understand, they are creating, they're trying to build a nationwide energy market with the distributed energy resources and homes. And guys, do you want to add something on this?
No, it's something that I was completely unaware of. When is this? When was this being built, or is this being built? Is this has it been initiated a long time ago, or is this because I saw an old web logo, right? Or
they are trying to. They started to work this in 2019, I guess.
Mhm.
But this report is May 2022. It's a new one, actually.
Yeah, this weekend. Didn't know.
They announced that their simulation and their developments became successful.
What is the size of this? Because it sounds really very big, but I have no idea, to be honest.
It's actually very big because I don't have right now, but maybe we could find it later. But National Renewable Energy Lab is actually uh, wants to integrate 4C, home energy management system, to every United States house in the future, every home.
Nice.
So yeah, this I don't know. We don't know if this will be happen or not, but at least they're working on it.
Yeah,
So,
one is quite big in US.
yeah, the goal is integrate every United States home with that system actually. And this project also mentioned at crypto and blockchain report from the White House in the last year.
Yeah.
They also highlighted this one.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you made a thread about this. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
We also saw that last year when we had this SEC meeting where talk about green money or something like that, right? We had this talk where the Security and Exchange Commission was talking about digital assets and with EnergyWeb in a meeting. And we know about the White House connections with Rocky Mountain Institute, of course, and how they are advising the White House on crypto and blockchain and how to regulate that. So that's awesome.
This is actually
140 million housing units.
Yeah, just look at this, guys. Just can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Just look at that. We know that this proves that United States government actually used the EnergyWeb tech stack. Just look at it.
Can you share what you're doing there for the podcast listeners via Spotify?
Yeah, this image is from the Volta testnet. I believe no, it's from maybe their own app, but it gets the data from the Volta testnet.
Yeah, it says there.
You can see the transactions, you can see the DIDs on the Volta testnet, and this is huge. This actually proves it that governments work on this chain, right?
Yeah. It says on their screenshot of approved bids, data hash embedded on EWC, Energy Web Chain.
Yes. And as I understand, these systems also need to use tokens for the payment.
Oh, token is needed.
Yeah, but in my opinion, they're not going to use EWT. I don't know. Maybe it could be weird. I don't know. Every home owner has to use EWT in a legal way. I don't know. It's not appropriate for now.
Jesse mentioned that they will be paying on fiat money, currency, and it will be exchanged to EWT.
No, I know that. But in this project, the IDs need to use tokens on the chain. So maybe in the future they can implement this on the EWX relay chain with the fiat.
Yeah. I thought you said EWT won't be needed.
No, either way, we know that EWT will be needed for the relay chain or the EWC. It doesn't matter actually. For if you want to use the tech stack, you need to use EWT too. Yeah.
But
so this is it basically. Awesome. Okay. Let me just show one more thing. EWDOS, you can see in this report, and we have house agent. It's actually kind of similar like a grid singularity map. By the way, it's not the same thing, but it has similarities. Market agent on HAMS says HAMS. It is home energy management system 4C, and we have feeder. This shows the basic points on this project, and that's it on this National Renewable Energy Lab and Exelon part.
Nice. I'm impressed. I didn't know most of this, to be honest. It's quite new to me. Maybe I missed it, but I must have missed it.
Yeah, a lot going on. You can't
Yeah.
catch everything.
I
When
can
it comes,
imagine that this system, even like Ardian mentioned that we can see maybe that they pay via fiat money and that it goes in the back end back to energy web tokens and to staking. But you can also have sort of like a system where the user doesn't have to know that they work with crypto, but that the transactions are automated, right? So I can imagine
Right.
that transacting energy web tokens with a blockchain system goes automated via machine-to-machine communication and EOT. The whole economy of things system where cars pay their own bills when they charge the vehicle without the user having to pay anymore. That is where we are going, in my opinion, and I think that is something we could see here as well.
Yeah, right. It could be. It could
And then
be.
the token is definitely needed for these solutions, but it's simply not visible to the user, right? It's internal use, automated.
I can talk about a little bit why we are donating and what our donations are making or are building. For example, Rocky Mountain Institute just released some reports. I think 3 days ago. Just 1 second. Yeah, remember the Inflation Reduction Act that President Biden delivered to Congress and it was passed? That Inflation Reduction Act, that bill was around was direct investment to nearly $400 billion and more on like loans and more on loans. But this dollars is the biggest. This will be the biggest investment on clean energy on the U.S. history. And now the policymakers needed a way to distribute these funds, and they worked with the Rocky Mountain Institute to build a program on how to distribute these funds. But then they needed another program to know how these funds will be used and how state policymakers will implement it. So they together with I can find it. Yeah, together with energy innovation and with support from Bloomberg, they built the energy policy simulator. Is an open source platform to let end user to test different pathways to show how they can make specific strategies for each of the 48 United States mainland land states, and how they can be more effective and how they can achieve the best goals towards the climate goals, which Biden is trying to implement to 2030, I think it mentioned. And this energy policy simulator, together with the energy innovation, this I think it was a lab that was building this strategies. They already had it on several countries. So they mentioned 8 different countries, including United States, China, and India. And this is the same thing that I mentioned earlier when I said Rocky Mountain Institute helped China in 2019 come up with regulations and standards. Here, just like in China, Rocky Mountain Institute is the initiator, is the one that brought this idea, first in the form of a book, where on 2013, Amaury Lovins wrote the Reinventing Fire for United States. Then China invited him to build a book for China, and he did back on 2015, Reinventing Fire, China Pathway. And then on China, they started with implementing strategies and then creating policies for different provinces, which one was mentioned, Mexian province in China. And now they are doing on my opinion, I'm not sure of this. No, I can say I'm sure, but I can't confirm it on text. But yeah, if you read it, you will see. This is what they are doing right now on United States, and they mentioned here. I have a screenshot. I will forward it right now on the chat. Right. Where they mentioned that on China it was really easy because they only needed to build a single strategy, a single plan, and everyone will follow. But here on United States, yeah, here I found it. The United States has so many different regulatory landscapes that one solution won't necessarily work elsewhere. So they had to build this a few solutions for the United States. And Rocky Mountain Institute is together with Biden, together with the White House, that made the bill, and then together with the policymakers on state level are implementing this. And yeah, we know on the bill it wrote that they were trying to establish clean energy, creating more electric cars, even counting the methane. Forgot. Yeah, where is methane spilled in that? Which we found out from you, Gator. You wrote the comment thread.
Yeah.
Here, I will forward this.
Yeah, about the Rocky Mountain Institute and the COMET program, which was started at Davos in 2020. I wrote something there about the tracking of greenhouse gases for the steel industry, the aluminium industry, and some other industries. So COMET is a program that is tied into ClimateTrace and to Horizon. Horizon is an RMI program that is integrated with the Energy Web blockchain technologies and software development toolkits. So the whole how do you call that? The green proofs or the tracking of the origin of energy, that is, from what I understood, incorporated there. And there was a vacancy last year where someone was asked to help with the program and to integrate Horizon with Comet and with some other solutions like ClimateTrace solution. Yeah.
Everything we found from virtual power plants, from SABA, the sustainable aviation fuels, everything we found is now what I read is now mentioned on the Inflation Reduction Act. That they are investing this $400 billion to create this kind of market for United States. And the Rocky Mountain Institute is providing even the solutions. Not only they wrote the act, the bill, but they are even creating the solutions that are on top of Energy Web. For example, one of them, which we mentioned before, the SABA, Sustainable Aviation Buyers. Mm-hmm. And there we found quite a few of the the American corporation, some of them being the founding companies of this sustainable aviation fuels were Bank of America, Boeing, Deloitte, Meta, Facebook, JP Morgan, McKinsey, Microsoft, Netflix, Salesforce. And then today you found out...
we have a new member.
Yeah, the UPS, right, Gator?
New member?
Yeah,
new member of the SABA.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that was the news that we got from JobScope, so that is really cool. I can share my screen. Maybe that's a good idea. Let me show you guys.
So UPS will utilize the Energy Web chain when they have operations with the aviation sector, right?
Yeah, today.
Nice.
Yeah, it was mentioned last week already. Today, sustainable aviation fuel SAF is the best near-term in-sector solution to reducing the environmental impact of aviation. This was mentioned by UPS Supply Chain Solutions, and they said as one of the world's largest cargo airlines, UPS is proudly part of the Sustainable Aviation Fuel Buyers Alliance (SABA) to drive forward investment in sustainable aviation fuels, education, and policy support for its production. Then they mentioned the collaboration supports our commitment to 100% carbon neutrality by 2050, quite some time. We've set clear targets to get there, such as sourcing 30% aviation fuel from sustainable sources by 2035. So, they are now part of SABA, and SABA seems to be growing if you look at what they have in store for this year. Last week they mentioned they're expecting to see more production. They expect new conversion technologies for commercial scale deployment of more fuel types. So not only SAF, but also other fuel types were mentioned there in that article from what I recall. And they're using collective SAF certificate procurements to send a stronger demand signal to the market to scale high integrity sustainable aviation fuel. So this is SAF C procurement. That is referring also to the SAFC framework that was set up by Rocky Mountain Institute and some others. So after the framework, they would go to the execution of it, and we know now that SABA Energy Web are working together. So to further drive demand there, they also have public policy that they want to support support the SAF usage by narrowing the price gap between the conventional fuels and SAF fuel.
Yeah. Beside the SABA, we had also the Olivia from Shell, from American Express. Yeah, and I found today the American Express mentioned the Energy Web 2 times on their newsletters, I think.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I also found out that there's another new member. This was mentioned 2 weeks ago by SABA, and they have a new member named Okta, and they are committed to long-term action on climate change. A whole story around it, and tackling Scope 3 emissions is on Okta's list, and they became a SABA member to address the carbon-intense nature of airline travel and to drive investment in and adoption of sustainable aviation fuel. So when you look at what Okta is, you will see that they are the world's identity company. That's how they name themselves. They've got 285,000 followers on LinkedIn and 8,167 employees. So it's quite a large company. They're listed on the stock market as well, I see. And they are a leading independent identity provider. So yeah, there's a software company. They have large clients and help these clients protect their identities. So what does that have to do with SABA? Well, not necessarily much, but I can imagine that 8,000 employees with multinational clients, that these people fly a lot and that they want to offset their emissions or at least fly more sustainably. So yeah, they join the group of SABA founding companies, including the Bank of America, Boeing, the Boston Consulting Group, Deloitte, JP Morgan, McKinsey, Meta, Microsoft, Netflix, and Salesforce. So these are all founding companies. It's quite big.
You have some of their Alaska Airlines, Amazon Air. I never saw this before.
Yes. The founding aviators group include Alaska Airlines, Amazon Air. So Amazon Air is also part of it. JetBlue and United Airlines. Yeah, that's really cool.
I didn't know this before. But when it comes to, just mentioned Bank of America. We had from some different banks from United States. We had the connection to, beside here on SABA, we had a connection to JP Morgan and not Microsoft, MasterCard and the American Express. MasterCard even made their own video explaining how they are partnering with Vodafone and with Energy Web. But there was something, and we have first partnership. We had another bank. I think it was Citibank. It's another huge American bank.
Awesome. Yeah, the news just doesn't end, does it?
we will connect everything, bro. The something I found something cool on connection to JP Morgan also was this Brookfield Corporation. It was one of the newest validators that came to Energy Web.
Yeah,
it was a
by the way,
validator or a partner? Yeah. What?
Apologies.
They are very big. They are a very big company.
Yeah, I read today they have under 725 billion dollars assets under their management as of 2022. But something cool that was with them that I found was that they are on real estate, renewable power, infrastructure, credit, and providing credits. And but something I found, didn't know before, it was that they partnered with ClearTrace. ClearTrace is partnered from 2020 with Energy Web to help certificate or to help provide one of their offices on Brooklyn, or I think it was New York, Brooklyn, I forgot. But yeah, it was to help them create only renewable energy on this entire building. It was a 63-floor building that the JP Morgan Chase then connected with ClearTrace, and ClearTrace helped them provide with clean energy too. I can find the thread. I did a few, I think a year ago or two. Yeah, here, I found it.
Can you share it on the screen or in the chat?
I will share it on the chat.
All right.
And there I mentioned the ClearTrace, the partnership. It was a Medium blog a while ago, but I found out today it was deleted. I'm not sure if it was by accident or it was just to clean some old stuff, or it was the partnership may have ended. We're not sure. But this ClearTrace is actually even helping the European Union to create the 24/7 clean energy. I think it was a protocol or something like that. But yeah, there were some big names too.
Awesome.
But this ClearTrace is really becoming a big player.
All right. Interesting. I have heard of it, but I haven't looked into it lately. But cool. In the meantime, I also found this this UPS announcement of joining the Sustainable Aviation Buyers Alliance, SABA. That's the noise that you heard before, but that was from August 2022. So it's already out for a bit. And we didn't know this before. It's funny. But this is an official UPS video about joining SABA. It was probably out since before we knew that Energy Web was involved there. So I would say that's why we didn't find it before. And they announced it last week anyway, again. So maybe this video was hidden for a while.
Yeah, it could be hidden.
I'm just sending it in the chat here.
Ardian should dig better. You should find this, Ardian.
What?
you never miss it.
Yeah. Where were you all this time? Looking at SABA, looking at it. Not saying anything.
It's been 6 months. Come on.
I take full responsibility. Sorry.
Rightfully so. All right. So yeah, that's cool news. I didn't know that before. So also ClearTrace, something that we may or may not have partners with. But so from what we discussed now, right? We discussed there's different American solutions or America-based solutions also. There's two solutions that we didn't mention yet, I believe, and that is the Generation Attribute Tracking System with PJM ICE, United States region, and NV Energy, the PEC marketplace. I'm not really sure what PEC stood for anymore. It's something with Renewable Energy Certificate as well. But these two pilots have ended, right? So these two pilots were concluded, and I don't think we had a follow-up on that, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
there you even have the LO3 the Pando project.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's for microgrids, and a few big players even invested on the LO3.
Yeah, they are using the Energy Web chain.
Yeah, they mentioned Energy Web. They stopped validating just recently, but it doesn't mean that they stopped. Yeah. They just sold, so the validation council may have kicked them, or we don't know for sure. But yeah, I bet they are still using the Energy Web chain to build.
Actually, they migrated the Energy Web chain from the Ethereum.
Back on the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are using it, probably.
Probably, unless they switch again. But I don't think, what Daniel also said before, it doesn't really matter if someone is a member or not. They can keep on building on the technology. It's open source tech, right?
It's open source, yeah.
They can just be as well using the tech because they raised $11 million or $12 million in 2021 or 2020, I believe. So quite short time ago. I don't think that they are out of that money already, and if they are, then then it was meant to.
They can ask us to donate more.
Yeah. No, but anyway, I don't see them posting much. I was very disappointed in that because that was a large thing in the past, right? Bondo and LO3 Energy, and then they said they would come up with news, and I've been following their LinkedIn page for I don't know how many months. I think it was 5 months or so, and they said they would release some news about partnerships soon, and then 5-6 months nothing, and then suddenly they had some posts that they published, I think 2 or so, and that was it again. Then 9 months ago, the latest publication on LinkedIn, and no publications on the website. So I don't know what they're doing. It's very difficult to find any information on these guys.
Well, when we know the mention of blockchain and crypto is a bit skeptical, so they probably just are hiding it. We had Vodafone, for example. We didn't hear from them for a long time. Then they brought everything. Shell too. Our community even started questioning if Shell is still working with Energy Web or they stopped. And then Shell just started dropping news after projects, and now everyone is okay with Shell.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone is okay with Shell. Okay. Gator, are you okay with Shell?
Nice. Well, I'm okay with some of the people in Shell. If you look at Shell, I mean, it's a diverse organization, right? There's people with the heart in the right place who want to do something about the energy transition.
Can I interrupt you?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. You mentioned the people from Shell. I think Sabine is very cool. I need to say that. She's very cool.
I remember you're married, man.
I'm just saying she's cool, man.
The whole team is. I'm enthusiastic about the whole team. I mean, these guys, I've spoken to some of them. The people that work for the Shell blockchain team, these are dedicated people that want to make a change, want to make an impact. As most of you know, I live in the Netherlands, and I've been attending some events and spoken to some of these people. And they actually want to make an impact. So if you look at Shell as an organization, of course, I mean, fossil fuel is bad, and there's been several incidents in the past, large incidents even, oil spills, etc. But that doesn't mean that we don't need Shell for the energy transition. It's a very powerful company to have on board, especially since they have 300,000 or 400,000 charging points, for example, for electric vehicles in worldwide, and they want to expand that even to I think it was 800,000 charging points, right? So, you can say about these guys what you want, and I'm not investing in them, not investing in Shell myself, for example, because I have a very green investment style, ESG based. But I do believe that people want to change the company. I want to make a difference in the world. So, yeah, I'm happy with them on board. Let me put it like that.
Do you think they want, or they probably need to?
Both. I think some of the people want to, but I'm not sure about the top management. It's never you won't have the same opinion within such a large company. There's always people with different opinions, and of course you need to follow the overall company strategy. But they're being pushed that direction definitely as well. But that doesn't mean that we don't need them. So it's great to have them on board.
I just took a snapshot for today's listeners.
I already did it a bit earlier because there were 22 people in here before.
I hope you have them.
Nice.
Otherwise, they are missing out.
Did you announce the surprise? I don't know.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. then I should shut my mouth. Sorry. Okay.
Now I know there's a surprise.
Yeah, the surprise is still coming. It's soon, TM.
Okay, I didn't know it. Sorry.
Some other companies we have on the energy from the United States. We have partnerships, or we are connected. No, this one we have direct partnerships. Is Duke Energy? It's a really big player on United States. It's EDF from France. They are investing on a few projects on United States too. We have PG&E. They are, I believe, on California also. We have PGM you just mentioned. We have General Electronics, and we have some big players like Google, Microsoft, Amazon that we are partnering for throughout the projects on different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And then we had some connections with White House, for example, Claire Henry. It was.
What was the name? Sorry.
Claire.
Henry.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's on the team with John Kerry. She was a team member on Energy Web. And then we have the Jesse Morris meeting with Bill Clinton. We don't know if there's something more or it's just a picture, but yeah, that's cool.
I didn't call this a connection, but okay.
Well,
it's just a photo.
Don't push me, man. I will connect it.
Nice.
So
Right.
we had a great episode. Everyone now knows that Jesse has photo with the Bill Clinton. So this is a very important info for your investments.
You're so bad.
Yeah, love you, bro.
Thanks, guys. I always enjoy talking to you about these solutions, and I hope that everyone else liked it as well. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great night.
Thank you,
See
guys.
you.
Have a good night.